Top of the morning from the newsroom of Regional Radio and DeWittDailyNews.com. I'm Seth Lawrence with this expanded 7 o'clock newscast brought to you by Baum Chevrolet Buick in Clinton, your Silverado headquarters, and by Connexus, providing fiber internet to Clinton. Learn more at DeWittDailyNews.com. The Neighborhood Care Center prides itself on its unique approach to impacting the community, and a local college student is getting an immersive experience of that firsthand this summer. On the WHOW Morning Show Tuesday, Ella Bateson told Regional Radio her summer internship has been quite the eye-opening experience. She has learned a lot about how much deeper the care center's impact is in the community.
Well, I wanted to do something local, and since for a health science degree, you have to do a public health internship. So this is for that credit slot. And since that's not what I'm going to do, I wanted to do something that I was like going to really enjoy. I didn't really mind the unpaid part or anything like that. And I wanted to be local. The care center was just my best bet. So I reached out and it all worked out. I thought that it was their main thing was the free market. So I was thinking, food pantry or reach out center, just resources for anybody in need. Even if they didn't offer them, they could get you in contact with someone. And some of that is true, but it is not a food pantry. It is not a food pantry. I would say exactly it's a network to connect people with where they need to get their help. If it's, utility bills, we have that in-house. If it's anything we don't offer, there are connections throughout town that they've made. They'll send a neighbor there to get help there. It's just connecting people, really, like building a relationship, getting to know someone in their situation and helping them out. I've done the no fee market. I've helped shop. I've met a bunch of neighbors that way, and I do enjoy that. I've sat in the economic support office on Tuesdays.
According to Bateson, the Neighborhood Care Center operates mostly on volunteer support and was pleasantly surprised by not only the enthusiasm of the volunteers, but many as those who came to the care center for their services.
I shared this with you and Cody the one time. I did not know how they had me read a book before I started my internship, and it was explained to me as that was really like the foundation for their operation at the care center. When helping hurts, how to alleviate poverty without hurting the poor and yourself. It was really good. It went over and took a deep dive into the building a relationship, knowing their situation, figuring out what the underlying issue is, like kind of addressing it like a disease and applying the proper medication. And I didn't know how receptive people would be to engaging in that or embracing, like, when they come in, like, do they want to talk to you? Do they want to, tell you what's going on and all? And I also wasn't sure how they managed to pull together unpaid volunteers every week to keep a consistent flow of people wanting to come in and help. But both have completely surprised me that both, I guess, like aspects of the care center are completely embraced. Like they have volunteers that come in happy to be there, and the neighbors are so excited to talk to you every week.
Director of Communications for the Care Center, Mandy Reese, indicates there have been some lessons learned for Bateson this summer that can sometimes go against your instincts. She has enjoyed, though, hearing about her positive experience with the Care Center.
I love hearing, talking about that book, Helping Without Hurting. Like, it really was the basis for what Neighborhood Care Center was founded on, because we talk about that all the time of giving someone food doesn't actually help their problem. It puts a Band-Aid on it, right? And in the moment, it feels like it's fixing it, but long term, it's not, and so it's really like we've had conversations with Ella about like how you put up appropriate boundaries. I think the first time she served in economic support, she made a connection with one of our neighbors, and like her gut reaction was to be like, I want her phone number, and we're like, pump the brakes a little bit, because that's great, and you should definitely reach out, but maybe not quite in the moment, like let a little bit time pass, let that neighbor come back and maybe express some of those same sentiments and then go from there, sort of thing, but we're constantly having to remind our mission partners, like, are you helping or is this actually hurting them in the long run? And that's a really hard concept because it really flips your mind, because you're like, well, yeah, I do think it is. And it is helping. It's not a bad thing. None of it's bad. But it's like, how can we actually do more? And here's the thing, like Ella said, not all of our neighbors are receptive to that. And that's okay. For some of them, it may just be coming and getting free groceries every single week. But for a good chunk of them, it goes beyond that. And like she said, they've developed relationships with our mission partners. And I think that's one of the biggest things for us, is just being really intentional.
Bateson indicates her experience with the Neighborhood Care Center has given her a new perspective on community involvement and a desire to be involved when she finishes school. She'll be a senior at Eastern Illinois University this fall. The summer boating and outdoor season is nearly coming to a close as we approach the Labor Day holiday, along with the start of school. The Department of Natural Resources Conservation Police Officer Noah Workman indicates Clinton Lake has really seen minimal issues so far. He's been pleased with the way boaters are doing the right things for a safe summer.
I've not ran into myself. I've checked a lot of boats this year. I don't think I've ran into one where there were short life jackets or anything like that. I've noticed at Clinton Lake, everybody's been great. I've not written one ticket or addressed one situation where a kid was not in a life jacket. And that is a big pet peeve of mine. Kids not under 13, not in a life jacket. You've got my full attention, but I have not seen one. And it's been great to see. And I've even gone to the extreme, like when I stop boats and I've noticed a lot of kids in life jackets, thanking them. Like, thank you for putting your kids in life jackets and making sure that, the kids are safe. I'll stop, do their safety inspection. I'll be like, look, I'm glad you guys are practicing good safety habits with your kids and putting them in life jackets. And I know it's the law, but when I first transferred down here, I saw more of it where kids were not in life jackets. And it's just been great that I have not had to address it this year. I've not seen one boat, really. I've not been present when a boat's violated a wake area, DeWitt Bridge or the bridges and the ramp area. I've not seen too many boats messing around, acting crazy and driving with a wake inside those areas, just for safety issues. You got people, especially near ramps, loading and unloading off docks and off ramps. So it's just to keep the water still. You talked about the safety. I mean, I've noticed like people neglecting to put up their orange flag when they're towing with skiers, tubers, stuff like that. Anytime you're pulling somebody, whether it be on a jet ski or a boat, you got to have that orange flag visible so that way other boaters around know that you've got somebody under tow.
On the campgrounds at both Clinton Lake and Weldon Springs, Officer Workman is noticing an uptick in dogs not on leashes. He says it is park rules. Your dog should be on a leash and contained to your campsite.
One thing I want to say, I noticed this weekend, it was a little bit busier. Dogs on leashes. Keep your dog, especially at your campsite. When I was patrolling the campground at Clinton Lake, you see a lot of dogs running loose, but they're staying on their campsite. But we did have a dog attack another dog at Weldon Spring this weekend. So that the potential of that does happen. Just because you tie your dog to a tree with a leash doesn't mean that it's not going to break loose, or it's not going to break loose. You got to tend to your dog the whole time. Keep it on a leash. Avoid those kind of situations. No ground fires. I touched on it. You lose your watercraft, don't swim after it. Slow down through the parks. I've noticed Clinton Lake. I'd said Weldon Springs was kind of slowing down. Clinton Lake is not. It's a 30-mile-an-hour zone. I've had another officer. I think most we've had was like a 56-mile-an-hour in the 30-mile-an-hour zone on that main road. So just slow down. We've been hitting, running radar pretty heavy out at Clinton Lake just because of the amount of traffic it gets and the speeders that we've noticed.
Other than a boater having his vehicle submerged a couple weeks ago on the lake trying to get the boat on the water, it's been a good summer at Clinton Lake. Officer Workman hopes it finishes that way over the next 4 to 6 weeks. After a dry start to July in some places, the last few weeks have replenished some deficits in precipitation in some places. Ed Shimon at the National Weather Service in Lincoln indicates rain over the last few weeks has not only been much needed, it has been substantial.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we really replenished a lot of deficits in the last week or so. Even at our office in Lincoln, we had one day where we had 2.25 inches of rain. a lot on the 25th there. So I brought up Coco Roz for the amounts for the whole month so far, and there's a 10-inch amount in Logan County. There's an 8+ in Payette. The DeWitt ones aren't pegging up that high, but McLean has an 8.7 for 1 month, and we average about 5 inches of rain in July. So we're above normal almost across the board right here in Central. Yeah, we were in somewhat of a drought, and actually the drought monitor from last Thursday for DeWitt County does have us in D1 or D0, excuse me, which is abnormally dry. And there's actually a little bit of D1 moderate drought in eastern near DeWitt County, near Farmer City. So we started out heading into this particular last 5-7 days below normal in terms of the drought monitor, but I think we've replenished enough in the soils that most of the area should see this drought condition dissipate. I'm showing us above normal by about 2.5 inches of rain now. So a lot of the area got upwards of 4 inches of rain in those last 3, 4, 5 days. So we probably we were probably an inch or so below normal, and now we're a couple of 2.5 above for the most part.
According to Shimon, July has not been only been wet, it has been hot. He says we're about 2 degrees above normal for the month, which is pretty substantial. Overnight lows have not been cooling off much, and that is pushing the average temperature up.
One thing I want to say, I noticed
we're above normal by almost 2 inches. So this last 2 weeks have really push us up. The low temperatures not even getting barely into this upper 60s. We normally are in the mid 60s for lows, and we haven't had a mid 60 for an overnight low for about a week and a half or more, and even the rest of the month. Yeah. So in the daytime highs, upper 80s is just above normal. We're normally around 85 this time of the month. So we've been above normal almost every day the last 2 weeks. So a couple of them were 83, I guess. For the most part, yeah. So we're about almost 2 inches above 2 degrees above normal, which is a lot. I mean, in July, you're definitely dealing with that heat when you peg July above normal by almost 2 degrees. And we've had cumulative effect with this heat too. Last week and this week, your body starts to dehydrate each day a little bit more, unless you really, concentrate on getting that water and electrolytes in. So your body is ready to, actually succumb to some of that heat, if you haven't been hydrating. And then there's also that acclimation. If you hydrate and keep your body fueled, you will acclimate to that heat over time properly. But you do need that fluid intake. Otherwise, you really won't acclimate properly.
Stay with us in the days ahead as we continue to hear from Shimon on the first part of August and the National Weather Service's assistance with things like Illinois football and the Illinois State Fair. News time is 21 minutes after 7 o'clock on this Wednesday. More to come on the morning show.
Is the summer heat getting to you? This is Scott Baum from Baum Chevrolet Buick in Clinton and Farmer City, inviting you to cool down in a new Chevy. We have cool new crossovers like the Chevy Equinox or hot new trucks like the Chevy Silverado 1500, which has up to $7,500 in extra savings over our regular discounts. See all our inventory and prices online. And don't forget, we need and would love to trade yours in. Chevrolet, together let's drive. BaumChevyBuick.com, right from the start.
Experience the power of better connection with Connexus Fiber Internet. Connexus delivers ultra-fast, reliable speeds to keep you connected at the speed of life. Whether you're working from home, streaming your favorite shows, or gaming with your friends, Connexus has you covered. Say goodbye to buffering and dropped calls and say hello to fiber fast internet. Ready to upgrade your connection? Sign up today by clicking the Connexus icon at DeWittDailyNews.com. Nothing connects us like Connexus.
News time is 22 minutes after 7 o'clock here on this Wednesday. Again, I'm Seth Lawrence with you folks today for this expanded local newscast. A county fair netted big returns for its youth livestock auction. It happened Friday night in Madison County, where the heat index was 113 degrees, says auction committee member Blake Rinder.
The heat didn't stop anybody from supporting these kids. It was wonderful. We brought in over 300,000 total on 87 animals. Yeah, I'm shocked year after year that they keep showing up and keep supporting. It's a testament to our community, our surrounding communities and counties. They just show up and love this night, and love these kids and the work they do, and just want to support them. And we're so appreciative of it.
It marked the 48th Madison County Fair Youth Livestock Auction. A North Carolina farmer who's recorded some big corn and soybean yields shared his knowledge with a group of downstate Illinois farmers last weekend. Russell Hedrick spoke at a Clinton County Farm Bureau field day.
So last year, Farm Bureau reached out to me, and they've got this nutrient stewardship grant where they're trying to help farmers understand how nutrients work in the plant, how we can cut back on nutrients, and really just how we can maximize return on investment on the farm. So they asked us to come up. We spoke last February. I think we had 250 people roughly. And so they asked us to come back and do part of the field day, look at, some of the plots that they put in from our talk in February, some of the ideas that were taken away from that. So here we are for another field day. You can do 99% right as a farmer. And if you don't get the weather, you're not going to get that top end. But, you've got to learn to work within what your weather pattern is. And that's what we've been focusing on is what varieties do we need? We started looking at nutrient uptake curves. So we have some new AI technology that we actually developed over the last 6 years, where we're looking at nutrient uptake curve in the plant. We're trying to meet that demand for the plant, not only through soil fertility, but also foliar feeding, looking at, pulling tissue samples and monitoring that. So beans, we hit 117 bushels dry land on that back in 2000. Let's see, that would have been 2021. 2022, we got corn up to 459 bushels dry land. And I think that you could probably break over 500 dry land if you get the right weather pattern.
The field day was funded by an Illinois Farm Bureau Nutrient Stewardship Grant. Farmer health and safety are important to the 2025 Illinois Farm Bureau Young Leaders Excellent in Agriculture Award winner. Kate Huffman hails from Henry County.
Illinois has one of the highest rates of farm-related accidents. And so 4,500 accidents that are farm-related have been reported to occur annually in Illinois, which is higher than other states. But a big part of what I hone in on through all the programs that I work through with health and safety for farmers is my driver's education program, which is a half-day program for all 8 county high schools, their driver's ed program. We have 6 different stations and partner with many different people, like the local law enforcement, state police, our local elevator, local farmers bringing in equipment so our students can see what it's like as a farmer trying to drive down the roads and how to drive safely. And then the other key component to the health and safety is the mental health. A recent survey in Georgia stated that 50% of their farmer respondents had thought about suicide in the last 12 months. That hits deeply with me about mental health and the need to be able to continue to talk about it.
Huffman will be honored during the Illinois Farm Bureau annual meeting in December in Chicago. A key part of the Illinois State Fair is the wide variety of foods. It's something State Fair manager Rebecca Clark enjoys talking about.
Yeah, that's a puzzle. That's really like the world, a 366-acre puzzle, if you will. You want to make sure that you don't have 2 corn dog vendors right next to each other. You want to spread them out, sprinkle them out, because that's good for business, but also good for the fairgrounds, right? But we've been very fortunate over the last several years that we have grown, and our notoriety has grown. People are noticing the improvements that we make and the crowds that we're building. And that has vendors talking and people wanting to be involved in the Illinois State Fair. And we love the opportunity to grow our fair family. And so we're trying to add as many vendors as we can, making sure that we are offering plenty for all of our fairgoers. We've been trying really hard over the last couple of years to look at dietary needs. Not everybody can enjoy gluten. Not everyone can enjoy dairy. And we want to make sure that we're inclusive. Because I can't imagine how agonizing it would be for someone to be able to come to the fair, smell those mini donuts, and not be able to have them. And so just making sure that we are looking for those options to be inclusive has been something that we've really strived to work towards this year in the last couple of years, actually.
More information is available at statefair.illinois.gov/food. Many enjoy smoking meats over the summer, and a USDA food safety expert says there are safety tips to keep in mind. Rod Bain has more. Get more information at usda.gov. News time, 29 minutes after 7 o'clock on this Wednesday. Coverage of news is brought to you by Baum Chevrolet Buick in Clinton, your Silverado headquarters, and brought to you by Connexus, providing fiber internet to Clinton. Learn more at DeWittDailyNews.com. Get news anytime from your computer or mobile device at DeWitt Daily News.